St. Peter's over LaSalle, 57-50. That's what's coming up in just a very few moments. But not before we talk to Jim Coyne, the Albany County executive, very instrumental in building this place, the Knickerbocker Arena.
Oh, thank you, Carl. Yeah, this was a lot of headaches building it and a lot of negatives, but I think the positives are starting to come around. We've had a great first year, over 1.5 million people. It's a great building for the arena and for the area, the whole county, the whole Capital District.
Time goes very fast. I remember when we sat here, or stood here on this court last year and talked about the enthusiasm. Again, the people in this area in Albany County out here, and they're going to support their Siena Saints in this next game.
This is Siena country up here, but it's also MAAC country. They appreciate good college basketball. And I can see this MAAC tournament getting better and better each year. The quality of play is much better each year. The fans, the crowds are going to get bigger and better. This is hopefully this will be a home of MAAC for many years to come.
Do you see more growth up here in this area for arenas such as this, or to bring in other tournaments and other sporting events?
Oh yeah, well we have Team USA is making their home here for the hockey team, which will eventually be the Olympic team for next year. So they're going to play probably 10 to 15 games in this arena. We have international ice and NHL ice. We have the Final Four for Division I hockey next year. We hope to get other basketball tournaments along the way in the road to the NCAAs. We're going to apply for some world games. So I think you're going to see a lot of Albany in the news and the sporting news in years to come.
Jim, it was a year ago, as I said. Hopefully we'll see you next year. Maybe it won't even be that long, but we thank you for coming by here.
Well, thank you, Carl. You guys are doing a great job.
Jim Coyne, the Albany County executive, he's been my guest. Now, when we come back, Barry and Earl preview Game 2, Iona, Siena, when we return. Jim, thank you very much.
Live from Knickerbocker Arena in Albany, New York, Sports Channel presents the semifinals of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference College Basketball Tournament. Tonight in Game 2, the Iona Gales take on the Siena Saints. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with Earl Strom. Earl, these clubs divided to 2 games. What do we look for tonight?
Well, we got 2 great players going against each other. Sean Green, and we have this young man down here, Mark Brown. I got to remember that name because he is a great one. And we'll hope to look for 2 teams pushing the ball up the court.
Let's talk about Sean Green first of all, because he is a spectacular artist in the open air.
Yes, he is. I'll tell you what, Sean Green didn't have an exceptionally great game last night, but he is a magnificent athletic talent, and I'm looking for him to rebound tonight.
Mark Brown, the little super guard, what do you like about him?
Mark Brown, I love the way he controls the ball. I love the way he drives to the basket. I love the way he finishes off his drives, and he sees the whole court for magnificent passes.
Should be a fast-paced, up-tempo ball game, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Metro Atlantic Basketball has been brought to you by Marine Midland Bank. Let's work it out together. By Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. And by Wilson, now the official basketball of the Metro Atlantic Tournament.
Back at the Knickerbocker Arena, Barry Landers along with Earl Strom and Carl Rudder as we get set for the showdown between Siena and Iona. Right now, let's join public address announcer Jay Silverman.
This is the second semi-final game pitting the 4th-seeded Gales of Iona College against the top-seeded Saints of Siena College. Here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. At forward for Iona, a 6'5" senior from Long Island City, number 23, Sean Green. And at the small forward for Siena, a 6'3" junior from Marshall, Michigan, number 12, Bruce Schroeder. At the power forward for Iona,
All-Star,
a 6'6" senior from the
very
Bronx,
tough physical player,
number 34, Jonathan Duck.
Good matchup between Jonathan Duck and Lee Matthews inside.
That's going to be a tough physical matchup. Duck has the weight advantage, but Lee Matthews is a very, very strong competitor.
Neither club played particularly well yesterday in advancing.
A 6'10" junior from Yonkers, number 44, Kevin Cooper.
Cooper hasn't done a whole lot, and he may have his hands full with
Siena.
Steve Downey, the 7-footer.
Steve Downey may have a little bit too much finesse for him.
Downey potential of being
at guard
who could
for
put a lot of
Iona,
points in to get rebounds.
6'3" senior from Linden, New Jersey, number 32, Sean Worthy.
Sean Worthy, who had a brilliant game the first time these Cubs played up here,
Siena,
scoring a career-high 31 points.
Junior from Hastings, Michigan, number 24, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown getting the starting call.
And at the point guard for Iona, a 6-foot junior from Brooklyn, number 30, Antoine Lewis. At the point for Siena, a 5'11" senior from West Orange, New Jersey, number 4, Mark Showbiz Brown.
Yeah, what a showbiz performance he's been giving of late, Earl.
Oh, he is magnificent. He was the MVP, I guess you might call it the MVP or Player of the Year in the MAAC Conference.
Mike D.
We'll be back with the start of tonight's game right after this. The Saints have won 9 in a row, and there seems to be pressure on their coach, Mike Dean. We asked him about that pressure before tonight's game.
I think there is. I certainly think I'm feeling some of that. I think I did last night in particular. You know, that first game is always the hardest to win. Everywhere I go now, everyone's asking me if we're going to play better tonight, and then and hopefully we'll still be around for Monday night's game. I don't know if our kids are feeling it as much as maybe I am. I think our kids are enjoying the fact that we're here at home and that it's our fans and that we have a great deal of support. And I think that helped us last night. I think it'll help us again tonight, but it's not a guarantee. This is a very competitive tournament, and Iona is a very capable opponent. I think the most athletic club in the league, and a team that beat us handily at our place the first time around. So they're not afraid to play in the Albany area in front of and we had a full house that night in the Arc on campus. I think we'll have a very good crowd tonight. And I'm hoping they help, but I know we're going to have to play good basketball to keep going.
The thoughts of Mike Dean as his Siena Saints, certainly the crowd favorite here in Albany, and the crowd should be a 6-man. Earl, how about the call?
Let's look at Iona, what they have to do. They got to get inside scoring, and they got to get into a transition game. Siena is going to have to keep their guards out of foul trouble and continue their hot shooting if they want to stay in this ball game.
They are the best shooting team in the conference, shooting nearly 49% from the field. We're underway, and the Saints have the ball. Schroeder. And quickly, Mike Brown puts the Saints on top. Sean Green, who did not play well yesterday and played his worst game of the season in losing to the Saints.
I'm not sure if Jonathan Duck wants to be handling the ball. He gives it up. He got it in the hands of the right people.
Sean Worthy working outside. He had a career high against Siena earlier this year. Knocked out of bounds. There's part of the big crowd here at the Knickerbocker Arena. They have supported the Saints very well.
Steve Downey is very active on defense now. He's moving around, denying the ball.
Antoine Lewis, good dish off to Kevin Cooper.
Great pass by Antoine Lewis, but Cooper's moving to the basket, getting the pass, and bearing it.
Off the Mike Brown miss. Sean Green pushes it up. And Green is like the girl with the curl. He can be spectacular as he was in our Sports Channel telecast against St. Peter's, or look like an awfully bad ball player on other occasions.
I'll tell you, I think he's out on a mission tonight. He has had several bad games against this ball club, and he just took that ball right to the basket. Gary Brokaw is the coach, and Gary, he dresses pretty well himself, doesn't he, Barry?
He sure does, and there are rumors concerning his future at Iona, and he, of course, has to worry about that distraction. And by the way, he is wearing a microphone tonight. You'll be getting Gary's thoughts throughout the evening. Down court, Matthews had it knocked away. This is going to be a physically bruising game inside. Jonathan Duck going to be called for the foul. the hustle call.
Jonathan Duck did come down over top of Lee Matthews' shoulders to knock the pass away. A good call by the official.
Our officials are Gene Manje, Joe Mingle, and Dick Slumkowski. Fine crew. Mark Brown open, off the pick, and Mark Brown buries the shot. He has been sizzling of late.
He got a great pick on that play, and he was able to come off and bury the shot because he was freed by the Steve Downey pick.
Nice pass inside. Sean Worthy spotting Antoine Lewis. And we have a 6-4 ball game. Excellent guard play in the tournament we've seen, Earl, especially these teams that have made it to the Final Four. Mike Brown. And the jump shooter from Hastings, Michigan, has tied the ball game. His first 2, he's averaging 9 points. He's been an off-and-on starter this year. They've started several different people, several different lineups.
He could possibly be their best outside shooter, Barry. He comes off of those picks very well and has a quick release.
This team shoots almost 42% from three-point range. They're best, by far the best in the league. The Siena Saints. Iona, a decent three-point shooting club. Look at the double team on Sean Green. Duck open. He had Worthy breaking to the basket. Good pass.
Great pass by Jonathan Duck. Super pass. Worthy cutting to the basket and receiving the pass.
Mark Brown with a good pass inside to Matthews over Cooper. And the sophomore from Buffalo ties the game. His first bucket. He's averaging about 7 a game. Duck bringing it across. Rather unusual here for the big guy. Kevin Cooper out high against Downey. Both teams like to play man-to-man. And you don't want to play a zone defense against Siena because they have such great outside shooting room.
Absolutely. Every one of their ball players can put the ball in the basket from 3-point range.
Kevin Cooper with a second bucket. Not known for his offense. Cooper averaging only 5 points a ball game. Mark Brown against Sean Worthy. Downey. And Iona's Jonathan Duck overthrows Sean Worthy. Not a good pass by Duck.
Jonathan Duck could not have thrown a worse pass. Worthy, who is a speed merchant, couldn't even catch up with it. Now watch Jonathan Duck. He gets the rebound. He had no control of that ball when he released it. It looked more like a screwball than a fastball.
Little gymnastics. Was that on the balance beam over there?
On the balance beam. Worthy up on.
Andy Grisoulis, number 44. He's just checked into the ball game for Siena. Replacing Lee Matthews. Schroeder inside. Downey fumbled it. Taps it out of bounds. It'll be Iona basketball.
Schroeder made a good pass. Downey was not able to control it, but it was a good penetrating pass.
Iona beat Siena 90-75 here when Sean Worthy scored 31. That was at nearby Loudonville. The only loss suffered at home this year on their home court by the Siena Saints, who come into this game having won 9 in a row and a record of 23-8. Sean Green banking it off the glass.
Coming around, getting good lift on the jump shot. He is a quick leaper, quick release.
Biggest lead of the ball game, 4 points. Worthy committing a foul on Mark Brown.
See what Worthy did? He did not move his feet. He stuck his hand out, and the old professional hand check call. Now watch him. Mark Brown handling the ball beautifully like he always does, drives to the basket, and he has the hand of Worthy on his hip.
Foul was on Worthy. Lee Matthews back in the ball game, and Steve Downey sits down. Mike Brown knocked out of his hands by Antoine Lewis. And we have time out of the floor right now. Early in the first half, it's the Saints trailing by 4. Earl, is that a friend of yours?
That's a friend of mine. Are you sure Mendy Rudolph started like that? Look at that guy.
Siena Animal.
Siena Animal.
All right.
I won't argue with him about that.
He doesn't look like any Saint, does he?
I'll say not.
Lee Matthews with the Saints trailing by 4. Mark Brown. Matthews just mistimed the jump a little bit. Here's Sean Green. Iona hasn't missed a shot yet. Now they have as Worthy misses. They're 5 for 6 right now.
That was a good idea by Sean Green. He did get a good bounce pass. The shot was a good shot, but missed.
Mark Brown in and out. Oh, they don't like the call there, but Gene Monge made the call against the home team.
Would you think that was an unfavorable call? I'll tell you what. Any call goes against Siena tonight, we're going to get a reaction, I'm sure.
Sean Green holding the ball. He can play guard. He can play just about every position, perhaps center. Alley-oop pass!
Oh, my goodness. And it came off the back pick by Cooper. Sean Green breaking to the basket off the back pick.
Schroeder answering with a missed shot. And Iona in command here early, leading by 6. Antoine Lewis, they've missed just one shot so far. Knocked out of his hands. And here's one worth looking at.
Now watch the back pick. Sean Worthy seeing the back pick for Sean Green, coming around, timed it perfectly, and he buried the 2-point shot.
6 points for Green, 6 of his team's 14. He struggled from the field yesterday. Cooper in and out, batted back out, and Mike Brown will push it up. Good effort by Mike Brown, a tough shot for the junior, and he's got 4. And it's 14-10.
He got Cooper up in the air. Mike Brown got Cooper up in the air, and when he went by, he went up with the shot. Good decision.
Tough job to guard this guy. Green missing that outside shot. Schroeder with the ball, and the Saints down by 4. We were saying earlier that Sean Green played his worst game as bodies go flying. Grazulis went down. They wanted a foul, uncalled. Green shot 5 for 20 the last time these two clubs played. Mark Brown missing his last 3 shots, and Sean Green skies for the rebound.
That was an excellent rebound. You see the way he cupped the ball with one hand. You have to have excellent timing to be able to do that, to be able to get the ball and bring it down with a cupped hand.
Sean Worthy, the quiet leader of this team, looks like a football player, defensive back at 6'3", 190. Another excellent pass inside to Duck. He missed, but we have a foul called by Dick Slumkowski, and Iona will be called for the rebounding.
Dick was right on the button. Cooper bumped him right out of the way. Great call by Dick. Now watch Lee Matthews. He has the position, and Cooper, boom-o, he bangs him out of the way for the rebound. Now Green goes up, times it perfectly, scoops it with one hand, cradles the ball, and he's able to get the outlet pass for the fast break.
Tommy Huerter, who has just checked into the ballgame, drives baseline, and the intense young man is fouled. He's a senior, co-captain for Boston Lake, New York, has started off and on this year, averaging about 7 points. Gerald McLeese, who has just reported in the ballgame, picks up the foul, and McLeese has been playing so well for the Iona Gales of late. One of the reasons why they've won 7 of the last 9.
He has been coming off the bench and contributing in every game. However, Tommy Huerter is a 4-year player. He's an excellent three-point shooter in that he can play guard or forward and shoot the three-pointer from the wing or from out front.
This team has 5 players who can hit three-point shots. They've made 207 this year from three-point range. And Gary Brokaw's club with a 3-point lead.
Go. Back to Antoine.
Facing
Go,
some
Antoine,
pressure
go.
in the backcourt here. Mark Brown almost stripped it away from Antoine Lewis. In the air, but McLeese, a heady play to come back with the ball. Green way short on that as he forced it, and we have a foul again underneath. Looks like Jonathan Duck is the man, as Mike Dean says, okay, let's slow it down, guys. Good deal.
Poor shot selection by Sean Green. Poor shot selection.
Come for the ball. So that's 6-1 on the clear out. What?
Duck picks up his second foul, 5th on the team. Is Mark Brown, who has struggled from the field early. Good pick for Mike Brown. He has 8 points, 8 of his team's 13.
Came off the pick and a quick release. As I said before, they figure that he could be their best outside shooter.
That three-pointer has tied the game. He has 9 points now.
Sean Green, excuse me, Barry. Sean Green's going to have to recognize that double team a lot quicker so that he can get the pass to the open man.
Sean Worthy powers his way to the basket. And that's what he does as well as any guard in this league with that 6'3", 195-pound body.
Absolutely. Sean Worthy has great control of his body. He's a great leaper for a little guy. Now watch him power move to the basket. He dribbles in, he gets into the trees, and powers up over Steve Downey and draws the foul, and he has a possibility for a three-point play.
The foul was on Downey. We'll get substitutions here. Danny Doyle, the sophomore, checking into the ball game. He was an All-MAAC rookie selection last year, number 25 for the Gales. Sean Worthy, as you can see, had quite a game here when they upset Siena. Timeout on the floor. And right now, with 8 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go, it's a three-point ball game. Jack Armstrong, the second-year Niagara coach, relaxing a little bit. He's such an intense guy when he's on the bench.
He sure is. You know, how old did they say he was?
28?
In his 28. I'll tell you what, last night he put on about 10 years. He may be 38 tonight.
And doing quite a job with the Purple Eagles. Mark Brown, who's only 1 for 4, but this guy's been hot. Mike Brown, number 24. He's been the story offensively. And he's one of those streaky shooters, Earl, Mike Brown, who when he's hot, he can really put the points up.
He does. He's shooting. He has 4 for 5 tonight. And there's another one. He is now 5 for 6 of perimeter shooting, driving into the lane. However, Iona, all their points are coming off of either free throws or in the paint. They don't have any perimeter shooting going yet.
Brown with 11 points. He had a high of 20, Mike Brown. Again, they'll go to the paint, but Doyle's pass saved by Worthy. No, they say he stepped out of bounds.
Say 1 too many passes.
Gotta move your feet.
1 too many passes.
Hey, Worthy!
Danny Doyle should have shot the ball.
Reversals, don't go in right away. Worthy, right?
It's
Gary Brokaw telling them exactly what I was trying to say. They got to reverse the ball, pitch it out, and get it to the other side of the court.
Knocked out of the hands of Mike Brown by Gerald McLeese. Tommy Huerter will come back in the ballgame, replacing Bruce Schroeder. No, Mike Brown is going to come out, and what a hand he's going to get from the crowd here. You know, earlier in the year, there was some discussion in the paper. Mike Brown should see more playing time. He's only playing 20 minutes, and when he's hot, he's a dead-eye shooter. He's a pure shooter.
He's shooting 52% from the field, Barry, and 79% from the line. He is a good shooter.
And playing 20 minutes a game, averaging over 9 points a ball game. This is Bruce Schroeder, who at 6'3", 195, bench presses 350 pounds. Schroeder goes hard to the floor. I wouldn't want to come down on him.
I'll tell you, Schroeder has a big upper body and good legs, good spring in his legs.
Iona leading by 1 as we approach the halfway mark in this first half. Barry Landers along with Earl Strom and Carl Reuter. Sean Green banks it off the glass.
Did he say may I on that shot? I don't know if he said he was going to use the backboard, but they all count.
8 points for Sean Green. Mark Brown has been held to 1 basket so far in the first part of this ball game. Huerter.
It works. It's all individual effort. Nobody's moving. Each guy's taking his turn on one-on-one, but I guess it's working.
And as you said earlier, Huerter's their most versatile player. He can play several different spots. Green, who's 3 for 5 from the field, guarded by Mark Brown in the matchup there. That's a very interesting matchup. 2 great players. One about 5'10", the other 6'5". Missing inside was McLeese. And a foul, however, will be called on the Gales, Steve Downey.
Well, Downey came over to help out. McLeese backing in to gain position. Got the ball in close to the basket for the turnaround shot.
Antoine Lewis will come back in the ball game for Iona. Danny Doyle, who was in briefly, will sit down.
Oh, they called the foul before he shot the ball, Barry. I guess he got fouled when he was dribbling the ball.
Lewis doesn't take long, launching a shot. And a good rebound for Mike Brown, who was on the bench all of 30 seconds. He's been the story here. Mark Brown will try to do his thing. 5 points for Showbiz. And they take the lead by 2, and they're up on their feet here at the Knick Arena. Spotting a reach-in foul against
Mike Brown. Mike reached in, grabbed Sean Green's arm. A good call by the official, coming out from underneath and spotting it.
First foul on Brown, 4th on the team. Now Sean Worthy comes out, and Danny Doyle replaces him. So Doyle will trigger in. Yale's trailing by 2. They had the early lead by as many as 6. And the police called for a foul on Lee Matthews.
See what he did? Instead of moving in and going around the defensive man, he banged right into him.
Move your feet, Doyle!
Second foul on McLeese, and the 6th-team foul. So Siena, an excellent free throw shooting team, a team that shoots nearly 76%, one of the best in the country, will be at the in the bonus situation. Now the next Iona foul, Mark Brown. Lewis goes down looking for a foul. Brokaw, you see livid that there was no call.
There was no call. I'll tell you, that was just a flop.
Is that a no harm, no foul?
No harm, no foul. Just a flop.
Huerter. Six points for the co-captain, and it's a 5-point lead. Cooper counts the basket. He's got 6 points, and he was fouled.
Cooper getting fouled, turning to the basket very quickly when he received the ball. Now watch him, he'll get the ball, he gets it in close, and goes to the basket very strong. The defensive man is standing there, not even making an effort, slid in, and fouled Cooper as he was going up for the shot.
First foul on Huerter, 5th on the team. As Sean Worthy will report in, Sean Green will get his first flow on the bench. As Kevin Cooper, a notoriously poor free throw shooter at 47%, goes to the free throw line here. Well, you see why he's got that kind of figures. Mark Brown got caught in the air. Danny Golombieski, who has just reported in for Iona, got the ball. The crowd thought he had gone out of bounds, perhaps. Doyle will take the jumper. Huerter kept it alive, but Golombieski, the freshman. And look at Showbiz go for the rebound. He averages 4.5 rebounds a game. And he draws the foul outside. That'll send him into the bonus. That's the 17th foul.
Sean Worthy not moving his feet, gets in the way, and he bounces.
It's good.
He bounces Mark right away from the dribble.
Mark Brown at the free throw line. He's an excellent free throw shooter, almost 82%, averaging 23 points. And he's averaged over 32 points in his last 6 ball games. He had 44 points in his final home game against Fairfield. That was up in Loudonville, about 10 miles away last week. Didn't play that well last night. He had 30 points, but it was a quiet 30.
Quiet 30. But listen, he's the 3rd Division I, 2,000 point per career, 750 assists.
Time out of the floor. And the Saints are marching right now. They lead by 5. There's a happy Marvin Andrews, who led St. Peter's to an impressive win in the first game. And He's got his hands full. He'll either have to guard Sean Green or Mark Brown in the championship game.
And he'll rise to the occasion. He is a magnificent defensive player.
St. Peter's defeated LaSalle 57-50, in case you're just tuning in the opening game, dethroning the defending champs who had won 3 straight championships. Sean Green coming back off that very brief rest, and he has brought his club back within 3.
He showed Mark Brown the ball and then was able to bury the shot.
Good play by Danny Doyle, and a foul called against Bruce Schroeder, the very intense physical player from Michigan.
Danny Doyle Danny Doyle had a clip thrown on him. Now we're into the 1-and-1 at both ends, Barry.
Well, prior to that last screen bucket, as Mark Brown sits down, Siena was on a 10-2 run as Mark Brown and Tom Huerter accounted for all 10 points, each scoring 5. And they're hitting those outside shots now, something they weren't doing in the early going.
That's right. They weren't hitting the outside shots, and now we were wrong. That was not a 1-on-1 situation. I think they have another one to give.
Antoine Lewis. He had 29 points in the loss a couple of weeks ago. He has 5 now, and quickly Tommy Huerter answers, and he'll be called for the offensive foul.
See, Tommy Huerter went in. He went in, and he had nothing to do but shoot the ball. Danny Golombieski did not even make an attempt to block the shot. He's under the basket, and they called the offensive foul. I guess it's a matter of where the official is looking and what kind of a decision he has to make.
Sean Green with his club tied now. They've come right back, and he's trying to put his club in front here. Gets the shooter's bounce.
Sean Green, not the prettiest shot, but he does have the rhythm, and he is coming across the middle and shooting the ball with good rhythm.
6 in a row for the Gales, and they've opened up a 2-point lead. Mark Brown
Gales are using a 1-3-1 right now.
Matthews, who does not have good hands, got a good pass from Doremus Bennerman, who is in the ballgame. They're going with the 2 quick little guards right now, Mark Brown and Doremus Bennerman. And Mike Dean doesn't like what he sees. A timeout on the floor, and the Gales have opened up a 2-point lead. Big crowd here at the Knickerbocker Arena for the semifinals as the Siena Saints and now trail 28-26, 6:07 to go here in the first half. Sean Green shooting 5 for 7 from the field. He leads his club with 12. Danny Golombieski getting a lot of playing time. He has not played much lately. Number 50, the big freshman, battling inside with Lee Matthews. That's because McLeese has a couple of fouls. And Green continues his hot shooting. He's now 6 for 8, 14 points.
He's coming across. He's able to get that shot because Siena is playing a matchup zone, and nobody's picking him up coming across the middle.
Green knocking it out of bounds, and Huerter will trigger in. Siena's biggest lead has been 5. Iona's biggest lead, 6.
There's Bennerman in the ball game now. He only played 8 minutes last night. They were trying to preserve his legs so that he would be ready for tonight.
He's a very exciting freshman. Made the MAAC All-Rookie team. Mike Brown, or rather Schroeder out there, out top, way short, forced the shot.
They got into a trap. They kept moving the ball, and then they had to take an ill-advised shot. He was completely out of range.
Mike Dean will bring back Mike Brown and Steve Downey into the lineup as Doremus Bennerman will sit down. And Schroeder, after that bad shot, is asked to take a seat on the bench. Mark Brown not getting off tonight as he has in so many games, only 2 for 6, 7 points. As the Gales, Golombieski. Lewis to Green against Mike Brown. Mark Brown, Lewis looking for the foul. And here's Mike Brown, who's been hot in this ball game. In trouble over Cooper. And Golombieski skies for the rebound.
Mike Brown got himself in trouble, went into the big trees, turned around and then had a pass and took an ill-advised shot.
Earl, you and I watched Siena have a very flat first half, and that's been their story this year in several games. They don't play well in the first half, then explode in the second.
Well, they come out of the halftime And Mike tells them, we got to get into our game and control the tempo.
Three-pointer for Antoine Lewis, and it's the biggest lead of the ball game for the Gales. They lead by 7. Lewis with 8 points. Mark Brown pulling up. Big shot. They needed that bucket.
They needed that bucket. Showed a lot of good patience to get it. Mark Brown was a quiet person until he buried that shot.
And their All-American candidate brings them back within 5. 3:45 to go here in the first half.
You know, Mark Brown is a candidate for the Naismith Hall of Fame award winner for people under 5'6" or under 6 feet tall.
Sean Green, big rebound by Cooper. He goes back up. Foul, count the basket, says Gene Monge. And Tommy Huerter doesn't like the call.
Well, Tommy Huerter doesn't like it, but Mark Brown is telling him, if you're going to foul him, grab him by the arms. What he does is Cooper will grab the rebound and he'll power up. Huerter just reaching in, hitting the arm, and pulling away, allowing him to score the bucket and get a free throw.
Earl, one of your keys was they've got to do a better job, Siena, inside against the big people on the boards. And here's Cooper, who nobody figured would have this kind of a night, looking for point number 9. Here's a guy that did not score last night and hardly scores any time.
Well, he's getting those inside points off of second shots and off of quick turnaround jumpers.
We figured that Steve Downey would have the edge in that matchup when you look at the two centers, you look at their physical ability, but so far it's been Kevin Cooper. Huerter's pass, a bad one off the hands of Mike Brown. And right now, Siena looks a little bit rattled.
I think they're completely out of their ball game now. Iona has taken them out of their ball game.
Point through, point through.
Iona has committed only 2 turnovers. Neither club has committed many. The Gales on a 15-2 run. And Antoine Lewis gets fouled. You could sense the frustration, not only in the crowd, but on the part of the Siena players.
I'll tell you, Downey had nothing to do but go straight up. I'm not sure if Antoine Lewis, who was out of control here, goes up in the air and causes the contact. Now, Downey isn't too sure that he didn't that Antoine didn't cause the contact also.
That's his 3rd foul. Antoine Lewis with 9. Anytime this guy scores over 12 points a game, this team usually wins. In fact, they're 12-1. He's got 10 points, and Iona leads by 10. As we'll get a substitution, freshman Andrew Shorkey, 6'9", 205-pounder, just checked into the ball game for Downey, who sits down with 3 big fouls.
Well, Andrew Shorkey has gotten more playing time since the injury to Mike McGee, so he's been getting a little bit more playing time.
You certainly miss McGee in this type of ball game. McGee injured his knees out for the season. He was a quick leaper. Mark Brown missing the shot, and it's Sean Green on the rebound. Siena has had very few offensive rebounds in this game.
Absolutely. They're not getting in because Iona, with their big bodies, is blocking them out very well, not giving them an opportunity for the second shots.
The Gales trying to beat the Saints for the 2nd time this year.
Barry, McGee didn't have just an ordinary knee injury. It was the dreaded anterior cruciate ligament that we hear so much about.
Lewis backing Mark Brown. Green against Schroeder. Forces it, lost the ball.
All right, that's a good call by the official. Excellent call.
It'll be his first.
Sean Green got into trouble. Didn't give the ball up quickly enough. Lost the ball out of frustration.
You got hit, so.
Now watch, he does. Picks the ball up. Now the ball was, but the ball was knocked. The ball was knocked away from him by the knee of the defensive player. But when he fell to the floor, he wrapped his legs around out of frustration. He wrapped his legs around.
Shorkey will get another one.
He wrapped his legs around Shorkey's legs and tripped him coming up the floor.
A couple of big free throws for the freshman to cut the deficit to 8 with 1:49 to go. Lewis almost stole it. But the former transfer student from SUNY Farmingdale, who's played a solid game today, looking over at Gary Brokaw right now. Came out of the junior college ranks, sat out a year. Iona's going to eat up some clock here. They've got the 8-point lead with a minute 28 to go.
They got the lead. Now the onus is on the defensive team who is behind to come out and force the play. That's why they're able to stand out there.
Doyle almost lost it. Lewis does lose it.
Antoine Lewis forcing the dribble, trying to get the ball in the shooting position with the shot clock running down, lost the ball.
Crowd coming alive. The showbiz Mark Brown brings it across. Under a minute now to go here in the first half.
Now the Saints are showing excellent poise and confidence. They'll pass the ball around for the three-point shot.
Off the Schroeder miss, Shorkey. Matthews back out. Mark Brown for three. 12 points for Brown, and it's back to a 5-point ball game. Shot clock is off. Lewis will hold for one, and they're up on their feet here.
See, that was a moving pick by Kevin Cooper. He's got to set the pick and stay still. Now we got a 1-and-1 situation at the other end. Mark Brown going to the line.
Rise on the point. You and Antoine in the corners. Antoine!
5 straight points. Gary Brokaw not looking as pleased as he did just a couple of moments ago. Looked like his club was going to have a 10-12 point lead heading into halftime.
Well, he's annoyed because they're making foolish mistakes.
Mark Brown will get another one. Looking for his 14th point. And here's Ian White, a freshman from Brighton, England, coming into the ball game. Big number 33. He's a 7-foot-1-inch freshman who has played very little.
Plays tough defense inside, though. He's a shot blocker. He deters shots. He changes directions of shots.
6 straight points have cut the deficit to 4. Sean Green. Mark Brown will not get the shot off on time. But the Saints have to feel pretty good about the way they finished the first half. After going down by as many as 12, they've cut the deficit to 4.
Well, they started to control the tempo, and Sean Green's helping them by dribbling into trouble and losing the ball with ill-advised plays.
So that's the story as the big crowd is looking on here at the Knickerbocker Arena. Carl Rudder returns with the MAAC Commissioner, Richard Enzer, when we return.
Halftime at the Knickerbocker Arena. Iona on top of Siena by 4 in the game 2 of the semifinals earlier. St. Peter's over LaSalle. Now joined by Rich Enzer, the commissioner of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. And Rich, quite a game, the first one. St. Peter's now moving on into the finals. But the winner of the MAAC will get that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. What about LaSalle now?
Well, I think LaSalle's an NIT team at this point. They're 19-9. I think the NIT would like that name in the tournament bracket. They certainly have been successful there before, at one time advancing in the preseason right up to the final game. So I think we're going to see the NIT looking at LaSalle very, very closely.
What about other teams from your conference? Do you see them getting at-large bids?
I think we have 3 teams right now alive outside of LaSalle. For instance, Iona could certainly win the tournament this year, the way they're playing here tonight and the way they played the last half of the season. They're certainly not anybody that can't be considered as a team that can win the tournament. Then we have St. Peter's with a 23-7 record, or 23-6 record, and it's gone at 10-1 outside the conference with good wins against teams like Wichita State, Bowling Green, which I sort of mentioned as a possible at-large in USA Today. They went out to Montana and beat Montana in the who's a Big Sky tournament champion winning. So I think St. Peter's certainly deserves a look as an at-large, as well as Siena. Siena's in over 20 wins and has some tremendous road victories. So I think what we tried to do is tell our teams to go out and play good non-conference teams. They've done that. They've scheduled up. And according to the basketball committee, the NCAA basketball committee, that's what we need to do. Well, we've done it, and we've won. It's about time conferences like ours start getting a look at it in that large bid instead of the 7th or 8th team from some of the so-called big conferences.
Let me ask you one last question. As a commissioner, can you make any headway with the NCAA committee? Can you call and make a suggestion for your conference?
Well, we lobby all year. We send them the stats. We update them. They're pretty much sequestered by this time of the year. You can't really get to the NCAA committee when it gets to championship time. But they know the teams that are out there. They're going to be watching the results of the tournaments, watching the finals on ESPN, and seeing what happens. And I think certainly one of our teams should be given a good look in that large. You know what's going to happen. If they don't, they're going to be the team with the best record not taken.
Well, it was a super semifinal, game one. This one is looking like it's going to be a good one also. A 4-point lead for Iona. Rich Henzer, thanks very much for coming by and talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, Rich Henzer, the commissioner of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Now let's go over to Barry and Earl. We've got another shooting contest, Barry.
Thank you very much, Carl. Right now, Mike Vanderloo from Manhattan College will shoot for $1,000 in the scholarship, the Marine Midland Bank Scholarship Fund. He hits the free shot, and they'll mark the spot, Earl. The rules are that whoever makes a basket from the furthest spot wins the scholarship.
He made that from the free throw line. Now the next man can move back 1 inch. And although he's moving back beyond the three-point plane.
David Bach from Canisius misses, so he's out of the running.
That buries him.
And now a lady from St. Peter's, Anna Long, will be participating. You can't be a player on one of the teams, by the way, or be involved in any of the programs.
Oh, you can't. Now, Anna Long has got to get in. Oh, that's too bad. I think they should have been able to move her up a little closer, Ben.
Now, Chris Scandalous will take it from Fairfield. $1,000 to the winner in this Marine Midland Bank competition. And, of course, Earl, many of the sponsors, in fact, all of them, are tied to the graduation rates and the academics, and that's a big part of the conference.
Absolutely. This, if you, almost made it. If you don't make it with your grades in this league, you don't play ball. And that's the way I think the NCAA should be throughout the country.
Sponsor advertising is tied, of course, to the graduation rates of the basketball players, and the MAAC Conference has one of the highest graduation rates in the country. And this is Rich Golden from LaSalle. And that is it.
That is it. The first man that made the free throw from Manhattan, Mike Vanderloo.
From Manhattan College is the winner. And he's standing by right now with our Carl Rudder.
All right, thanks very much, Barry. Mike Vanderloo representing Manhattan. How does it feel? $1,000 scholarship.
It's good, you know, help with tuition next year, you know. Show Manhattan win something this year, you know.
I've been asking a lot of the people during these shooting contests, what's it like to shoot before a big crowd? You have shot before the biggest crowd. Was there any fear out there?
No, I'm an experienced player, you know. It was an experience, though. It was interesting, you know.
Congratulations on winning that $1,000 scholarship.
Thank you.
All right, that's Mike Vanderloo representing Manhattan. He wins the $1,000 Marine Midland scholarship, hitting that shot from the foul line. Of course, everybody else followed him and missed. So Mike is the big winner here tonight at the Knickerbocker Arena. Now it's time for the Wilson Jet Award, presented by Wilson Sporting Goods, and it goes to the player with the highest scoring average in the Metro Atlantic. This year's winner is Doug Overton of LaSalle University, who had an average of just over 23 points a game, beating out Sean Green of Iona. He led the league in scoring. Doug Overton of LaSalle, and he led the Metro Atlantic Conference in scoring, had a super season. Earlier tonight, I spoke to Doug Overton about winning the award.
Oh, it's just something that I can appreciate for working hard this summer and trying to improve my game. To be the leading scorer in this conference with the great guards that we got with Mark Brown and even Randy Woods and Sean Green, it's a real, tribute to how hard I worked during the summertime to improve on my game and especially my scoring since we lost Lionel, especially.
Joined by Earl Strom. When we return, we'll have halftime numbers and highlights, so stay with us.
Come on, little brother, keep up. If I'm perfect.
4-point lead for Iona at halftime over Siena. Now joined by Earl Strom. And Earl, your impressions of that first half?
Well, first of all, Iona controlled the boards early and controlled the tempo of the games, pushing it up, scoring points off the fast break. It seems like Siena has taken over, taken control, forcing them into some turnovers and scoring off the turnovers.
Let's take a look at those halftime numbers that Earl had alluded to. And Earl, what do you like out there?
Well, first of all, Iona is 15 for 26, which is a better shooting percentage than Siena, 12 for 25. However, look at the turnovers. Iona 6 against Siena's 4. Iona is out-rebounding Siena by 16 to 10. And they're getting points off of this, off the turnover Siena is, and they're back in the ball game.
Well, you talk about points. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights. And, of course, Iona with the advantage in rebounding, perfect example.
Perfect example is Cooper grabbing a missed shot, rebound, going up, powering to the basket, and getting fouled, scoring the foul, and getting a three-point play. Now you'll see Mike Brown come through and shoot a pull-up jumper, something that he was doing very well early in the ball game. Now you'll see Sean Green go to the other end, come across the middle, and get a jump shot off of his dribble. Does not force the play, but gets a nice off the dribble 2 points.
Good flip in the lane for those two. It's a good ball game. Iona by 4 over Siena. Earl joins Barry for the call of the second half when we return to the Knickerbocker Arena in Albany.
We're just moments away from starting the second half with the Gales leading the Saints by 4.
And for the Iona Gales, we talked about them being a kind of ball club that you never know which club is going to show up. When they shoot well, they generally win. They're sort of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde ball club. And the numbers tell the story here.
That's a perfect example of Jekyll and Hyde. Just look at those figures in the field goals. The first game, 64.7 to 45.6 the second game. 3 points, 50% the first game, 30% the second game. And foul tries, 80.8 the first game, 63.2 the second game. It does spell out the difference.
Iona with the basketball to start the second half. Worthy inside to Cooper, who's given him surprising offense. They reverse it outside, and Antoine Lewis buries the three-pointer.
Well, they pushed it inside. The Gales, the Gales got the pitch out from inside and was able to, and Antoine Lewis was able to bury the shot.
Lewis with 13 points. That's his third three-pointer. Mike Brown, who had a great first half, missing. Brown was 5 for 7. He had 11 points. Mark Brown had 13. Nobody else had more than 6 points. They've got to get some of their inside people involved in the offense, too. They've got no production at all, Siena, from their inside people.
No, because Mike was telling me before the game they have to match up well with their with Iona's outside people because they don't have much of an inside game.
Steve Downey and Lee Matthews have contributed very little. Jonathan Duck on the baseline. And Iona starting the second half the way they started the first half.
Well, they're moving the ball. They're getting good entry passes. They're getting people into the right spot. And, you know, the important thing, Barry, the right people are handling the ball.
Well, Siena had the momentum late in the first half. But Iona's taken the crowd right out of the game early here in the second half. Lee Matthews looking inside for Downey. Downey, who has good offensive moves, tied up by Cooper, but Cooper going to be called for a foul.
I'll tell you, Downey put the ball out there for Cooper to take. And instead of grabbing the ball, he grabbed the arm.
Third foul on Cooper. Mark Brown will trigger in. Mike Brown guarded by Antoine Lewis. Kevin Green picking up Mark Brown. Oh, tough shot.
Tough shot. And look who he went up over. I'll tell you what, if he doesn't go over Jonathan Duck, he may have been put into the third row.
He got by Green initially and then went over the aircraft carrier, Mr. Duck. 15 points for Mark Brown. Sean Lewis. They're playing volleyball up above the rim, and Manje has seen a foul on Lee Matthews.
And watch Mark Brown, how he is an opportunistic player. He loses the ball, he gets it, and he challenges Jonathan Duck to score the bucket.
Well, there's quite a move and a daring move. Andrew Shorkey will come into the ballgame, replacing Steve Downey. What a spot for a freshman who's averaged 4 minutes a ball game this year and has scored 2 points a ball game.
Well, you know what? He is a tough kid. He was a red-shirted freshman. He is a freshman, but he was red-shirted last year. And he's getting increased playing time, though, and he's been showing up pretty well.
Steve Downey on the bench with 3 fouls right now. Sean Green, who had a fine first half. Worthy inside to Green. Nice move on Schroeder.
Oh, he just ducks right under Schroeder's arms. He may have gotten away with a little bit of a hook and freed himself to get the 2 points.
Mark Brown now guarded by Worthy. Earlier it had been Kevin Green, so they're alternating the guys guarding Mark Brown. Different types of defenders. Shorkey picked up by McLeese, who's in the ball game. Kevin Cooper down on the bench with 3 fouls now. Mark Brown is going to try to lead his club back, and Sean Green gives his club the rebound. They lead by 9, 45-36. Not a good start for the second half for the Saints. Here's the crowd starts coming alive to try to exhort the defense.
Sean Worthy's directing the offense now, and they're very patient. They're going to work the ball around and try to work it in for it all. They're not taking the inside shot. They took the perimeter shot. As long as they bury those, they're going to draw them out.
4th 3-pointer for Antoine Lewis. He has 16, and Mark Brown answers back. Now it's down to a 10-point ball game. Antoine Lewis had a sensational game in a losing effort. The game that Mark Brown scored 36, Lewis had a career-high 29, and he's playing very well. Great shooting by Antoine Lewis tonight.
Antoine Lewis is getting that outside shot. He's got the rhythm, and he's got to keep shooting it.
This guy has the rhythm also tonight.
When he gets his confidence going, he is an excellent shooter because he shoots within his rhythm and he shoots within himself. He doesn't shoot out of range. 18 points for Sean Green, who just finished right behind Doug Overton in the scoring race. Mark Brown finished a very close 3rd. Brown in traffic. Boy, does he find a way. I don't think they saw him. All these big trees are in there watching him dribble low to the floor, and he turns around and shoots a reverse layup uncontested.
19 points for Brown. The crowd comes alive. Saints are down by 10.
You're right, Barry. The Gales are going to have to be patient, take the crowd out of this ball game. If they score another bucket or 2, they'll take the crowd out of the game. It's very important.
Good start to the second half for Iona. They had their lead cut to 4 late in the first half as Sean Green drives, and a blocking foul will be called on Andrew Shorkey.
Shorkey got in the way as Green went up here. Now watch Green put the head fake on. He drives around, goes up in the air, and Shorkey gets in there a little bit too late. Now watch Mark Brown. He goes low to the floor. Look at him. He goes past everybody, reverse layup, uncontested, and nobody even saw him come around.
You think his dad, who coaches at Jersey City State, taught this little guy that move?
Well, I don't know who taught him, but boy, whoever taught him, he's a quick learner.
Sean Green will get another one. Green 2 for 3 at the line. He has 18 points. He has had a sensational finish to his season.
Sean Green is not a bad free throw shooter, and these are very important free throws.
Time out of the floor, and the Gales of Gary Brokaw lead by 11.
I'll tell you, 2 great players, Sean Green and Mark Brown, both playing great individual efforts by both. They each have 19 points, and they're carrying the team's offense.
Here in the second half, Green is 2 for 2, Brown 3 for 4. Both guys have been averaging about 32 points a ball game down the stretch over the last 6 or 7 games.
They rise to the occasion. They want the ball. These are the go-to guys. They want the ball.
Mark Brown working against Sean Worthy. Mike Brown, who had the great first half, shut him down a little bit here in the second half and late in the first.
Iona back into a 2-3 zone now to try to shut down the middle, and it didn't work. Boy, Turner went right through uncontested and buried the shot.
Huerter, you recall, came off the bench to spark an 8-point run. He has 8 points in the ball game, but he's been on the bench for quite a while. That's his first appearance here in the second half. Huerter can hit it outside as well as drive down the middle.
You notice who's handling the ball this half? Sean Green, as soon as he gets it, if he doesn't recognize the double team, he gets rid of it right away.
Green gets the pick from McLeish, up, and discontinues the dribble. That's one of the problems that Sean Green has. He's turnover prone at times.
Well, he doesn't want to try to do it all on his own. Now, he did have a pick set for him. He did come off the pick. He just was undecided what he wanted to do.
Saints down by 9 as Mark Brown works against Sean Worthy. Antoine Lewis, a great defender, guarding Mike Brown.
Iona's shown a lot of different defenses. Now they're in a man defense.
You had to like their defense against Manhattan yesterday. They did a great job in that game, holding Manhattan to a low point total. Mike Brown draws a 2-shot foul.
Sean Green, another not too smart foul, coming in behind and hitting him on the head, and he had no chance to make the block of the shot. Now watch him come in behind the play. He'll come in behind the play, and Mike Brown goes up to shoot. He had no chance to block the shot and hit him in the head.
Brown has point number 11. He had a high of 20 against Cal Irvin. And he hits both free throws. He's an excellent free throw shooter. Almost 80%, and that lead now down to 7. Green against Shorkey. He takes him to the cleaners.
He made Shorkey look like he was nailed to the floor, and he took the dribble, crossed over, and went by him like he was nailed to the floor.
21 points for Green. That's some education when you're playing in a semifinal game. You're a freshman and you're guarding the likes of a Sean Green.
That's right. Now Shorkey learned what it's like inside with the big boys. He got knocked down by Jonathan Duck. Now he's going out. He says to Downey, you go in and play.
Well, Shorkey will sit down, gets a word from Mike Dean, and Steve Downey back in the ball game. Downey, guarded by McLeish. Back out to Mike Brown. Inside to Downey, the big guy goes up short, misses the shot, and Sean Worthy comes up with it.
I'll tell you, McLeish and Duck came over and forced him to throw the ball. That was not a shot by Downey, it was a throw.
Inside Duck working on Downey. Matthews just backed him. They just turned his back on him.
Matthews thought that he was going to pass the ball off, and Duck made a wise decision to keep it and put the ball in the hole.
4 straight points, and the lead is back to 11 with 12:44 to go. Downey called for a foul, pushing off to get position.
Good call by the official. He pushed off to clear himself and received the pass. Now he's on the bench. He's got 4 fouls. Not a very smart foul when you're a key player and you have to sit out in crucial points of the ball game.
He was a second-team MAAC preseason All-Star, Steve Downey, and he sits down with 4 fouls, and Downey having a very tough night. Green pulling up. And Sean Green has given the Gales their biggest lead of the ball game, 57-44. Mark Brown missing quickly. Huerter saves it. Mark Brown makes it 57-46, 21 points for Brown. But no one else is scoring except Mark Brown here.
Mark Brown and Sean Green are taking turns. This is the Mark Brown, Sean Green show tonight.
Green against Matthews. And the sophomore from Buffalo with the rebound. Mark Brown cut off by Worthy. Mike Brown from the corner.
Great ball movement.
16 points for Mike Brown. And it's a 7-point Iona lead. McLeish spotting Duck inside. A good foul by Mark Brown. I think Duck would have been able to turn and get it possibly a bucket there. And Brown called for the foul.
He was about ready to turn and power to the basket. That was a good foul by Mark Brown.
And it's only his first foul of the ball game. So with 11:26 to go. Gary Brokaw and the Gales lead 57-49.
Landers and Earl Strom back at the Knickerbocker Arena.
Well, there's enough suits on that bench to start a clothing store.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 suits on the Siena bench. I talked with Rich last night about it, and he said that he's going to think about putting a rule in next year, only 5 suits on the bench.
Antoine Allen continues to kill Siena with a 3-point shot. 19 points.
That's Rich Enger, the commissioner. I forgot to mention Rich's last name. I'm sorry. He said that he thought he'd put in a rule next year to have only 5 suits allowed on the bench. Not a bad move.
Antoine Allen has been burning it up, and there's Tommy Huerter. Gotta wonder why Tommy Huerter hasn't seen more action in this ball game. When he went to make a move early in the second half, when Downey picked up the fouls, he didn't go to Huerter, he went to Shorkey, and Huerter gave him a great first half.
Well, he went to Shorkey to try to get some inside help and block off the boards and get some rebounds, and now he's got Huerter in there to pick up the scoring.
Well, Huerter's 6'6". I know he doesn't play all that physical at 6'6", but he'd be a big help inside. Brazulis lost the ball inside and fouled to Sean Worthy.
Sean Worthy made an excellent timing rebound, came in and put the ball up and got fouled. But he timed that rebound perfect.
Matthews picks up the foul.
Now watch. Antoine shoots the ball. Ball comes off the board. Now watch Worthy come in. He picks it up, goes up and shoots, gets challenged, and gets fouled.
I'll tell you, the guards have played well, their forwards have played well, and Kevin Cooper's given them a big lift. Worthy will get another one. And the captain with 6 points. A lot of people felt that he should have been selected as a MAAC All-Star second team. You could see his average. Plays about 37 minutes a game.
And he runs the show.
He sure does.
He and Antoine Lewis. You noticed a big difference on this push. The right people are controlling the ball.
10-point lead for the Gales. They've led by as many as 12. Mike Brown. Andy Grazulis inside to Mark Brown. Did want to challenge Kevin Cooper there. Good defense by Iona. They have played very tough in these 2 games against Manhattan and Siena defensively.
Mike Brown. They get the ball in the right hands for the shot. Good ball movement. Excellent ball control.
18 points for Brown, and the lead is 8. Siena playing a smaller club with Downey out there, out of the ball game right now. Cooper.
See, they play a matchup zone. Siena's playing a matchup zone. They let the people cut through.
Off the Lewis miss. Cooper kept it alive, and a foul will be called. Brazulis just couldn't get to it.
He just couldn't get to the board, and Cooper kept it alive. And now I don't think it's a 1-and-1. Now watch Cooper come in, get beyond Grazulis, get the ball. Grazulis fouls him as he comes down with the ball.
One more, they'll be in the bonus. Antoine Lewis inside, fumbled by Cooper, and he travels. Big turnover.
Great pass by Worthy, super pass. Cooper wasn't aware of the pass coming. When he went to pick it up, he walked with it.
You could hear the crowd. Huerter guarded tightly by Sean Green. And Sean Worthy trying to help out, called for the foul. It'll be his 3rd and the 4th on the team. I'll tell you, if there's any one guy they can ill afford to lose, I think it's Sean Worthy out there. He is the glue to this team.
Absolutely. He controls the ball when he's in there. A very smart ball player, makes the right decisions on the passes, and he distributes the ball very well.
8:45 to go. Siena down by 8. A bad pass by Huerter, but Matthews fortunately recovered. And a foul called against Iona. Sean Green pushing off, trying to get to that loose ball.
There's the play. Sean Green comes in. He does bang him. He brings Huerter to the floor to get the rebound. It's not a one-on-one situation.
It's Green's third and the fifth on the team. There's Bruce Schroeder working against Kevin Cooper. That's team foul number 6, and the Gales getting into foul trouble. That'll be probably number 4 on Cooper. And remember, Green fouled out yesterday with 10 minutes to go on a kind of a silly foul.
Okay, no, well, you know, that was not a silly foul. He challenged Schroeder going to the basket, and Cooper went up to try to block the shot.
Cooper will sit down right now.
And Gerald McLeese, he just gets like this, as opposed to swiping. It looks like a foul, even though it was clean.
As reported into the ball game.
Iona's getting themselves in deep, deep foul trouble now. That with 8 minutes and 31 seconds to go, they are in this one-on-one situation.
That is only the first point of the ball game for this second team MAAC Conference All-Star. Bruce Schroeder averaging almost 13 points a game. And he is going to have to come alive here in the last 8.5 minutes as he makes both free throws. And the lead is down to 6.
Schroeder is third leading rebounder on the ball club.
Stolen by Mark Brown. Huerter. Timeout. Cut to 3 as the Saints have scored 7 in a row, and Tommy Huerter has been leading the comeback.
Huerter has come in, buried a couple shots, grabbed a couple rebounds, and really inspired the ball club. Shooting those 3-pointers and the easy 2-pointers.
Sean Green working on Mike Brown.
Now they got it. That was a good shot, but he's got a guard against trying to doing it all on his own now.
25 for Green. He's 10 for 23 from the field. Schroeder, much quicker than Duck.
Schroeder really challenged Duck on a power move to the basket.
4 points for Schroeder. He's had the last 4. He's a kind of a take charge guy. Worthy. Green. Oh.
Green's going to take him home if he has to, all by himself, as long as he realizes there are other guys out there to help out.
Oh, Schroeder making himself so strong inside, but missing. Lee Matthews back up. And it's back to a 3-point ball game. 4 points for Matthews. 6:50 to go in what has turned in to be a heck of a semifinals game. The winner to play St. Peter's, a 57-50 winner over LaSalle earlier tonight.
Big rebound by Matthews, powering up, coming across, and powering the ball into the basket.
Gary Brokaw motioning his team to start running a play with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Foul on Huerter. Little body language there.
Dean wasn't sure that that was a foul. Puts Jonathan Duck on the line for a 1-and-1.
That's the 4th on Huerter.
You know, there's a lot of banging going on in there, but I can't believe that Huerter at 6'6", 205 to Jonathan Duck's 6'6", 240 is going to move him too far.
A chance to tie it with a three-point shot. Brown against Worthy. Mike Brown. Schroeder with a great rebound, but knocked away.
Schroeder timed that rebound perfectly, and when he put it back down on the floor, Worthy got his hands in there and knocked it away.
Iona has led by as many as 12 here in the second half. And with 5:40 to go, they lead by 3, and again, they'll pull it out.
I don't know if this is a smart thing to do, in that they got to move in closer and force the action.
On the shot clock. Worthy against Brown. That's the man they want to have the ball. Worthy, good penetration.
Finished off the shot very well, drove in the lane, pull up, shot the jumper.
9 points for the captain. It's back to a 5-point ball game. Matthews off the Huerter miss. Knocked away by Worthy.
There's Worthy. You said it, Barry. You said he's the catalyst, and he does get his hands in there on defense. He does a lot of unsung things.
Iona has the lead, so they're slowing the pace down, and they also have some guys in foul trouble, which is a wise move at this point.
Well, they can't foul if they're on the offense and they're holding the ball, trying to run the shot clock down, use up the game clock.
Lewis pulling up. Oh, what a shot by Antoine Lewis.
I'll tell you, he's a cool cucumber, boy. He really knows what he's going to do when he's out there.
Mark Brown with a big basket to cut the deficit to 5. 23 points.
Mark Brown changed hands up in midair. He was going up with the left hand, put it in his right hand.
An official timeout right now, called by Gene Monge.
What's up?
Sean Worthy
must have twisted his ankle coming up the floor. I didn't see anybody bumping. Danny Doyle will probably come in and replace him.
Kevin Cooper will come back in the ball game.
Now watch Mark Brown. He goes up to one side on the left and comes around and buries it with the right hand, and that's where Sean Worthy twisted his ankle, watching Mark Brown go to the basket.
Well, Mark Brown edged out Doug Overton for Player of the Year, and you can see his numbers. Sensational season for Mark Brown. Look at those percentages for a guard. 55%, and from three-point range of the conference, 55%.
That's all you have to look at to decide why he was the player of the conference.
Danny Doyle is reported in. Oh, Sean Green slipped by everybody.
Oh, that was not a design play. There was just a couple defensive assignments that were missed.
Down by 7 right now. Mike Brown, and we get a whistle.
Timeout, wait! Well, Mike Dean called a timeout when his man was going to the basket to score the bucket.
And Mike Dean, who was an assistant under Judd Heathcote at Michigan State, not very happy at the moment. We'll be right back.
Here's the reason for Mike Dean's timeout call. There's a broken play. Everybody misses the assignment on Sean Green, and he goes in and slams it home. Mike Dean, not being very happy, called a timeout when his man was going in to score.
Sean Green having a tremendous game. 13 for 18 from the field, 29 points. Mark Brown, who has 23. And Iona starting to sense that this game is theirs. 3:25 to go, and they've taken this huge crowd out of the ball game right now as they lead by 7. And they'll take the air out of the ball here for a good 25 seconds.
It's been working on each time down the court.
Oh, my.
Not a good pass. Sean got the ball, got up in the air, decided not to shoot, and did not make a good pass.
Mike Brown for 3.
points for Brown. You don't have to be a scientist, a rocket scientist, to decide who to give the ball to when you're down at Siena's end of the court.
Antoine Lewis. And what a game Lewis is having. 8 for 12 from the field, 23 points.
He and Sean Green are carrying the load for the Gales.
Huerter for 3. And it's a 3-point ball game just like that. 17 points for Huerter. Probably in isolation. McLeese out his hands out of bounds. Iona, who had only 2 turnovers in the first half, now with 11. Looked like Gary Brokaw was trying to call a timeout before that turnover, but couldn't get it. 1:45 left.
Saints are showing a lot of patience here.
Mark Brown guarded tightly there by Sean Worthy. 15 on the shot clock. Schroeder behind the pick.
Schroeder came off of that beautiful, beautiful pick and buried it. 74-74.
Promised Earl Strom a dandy.
Isn't this marvelous? Listen to this crowd.
And this conference has arrived. I'll tell you, we've seen some great basketball in this game, and whoever goes on to win this game is going to play a great St. Peter's team tomorrow in the championship.
This has been some night I'll never forget. Excellent basketball. Look at these 2 big gargantuan people carrying the flags around here.
Team, you're going to win this game. This is what it comes down to, and this is what you wanted. Okay? Antoine, watch them doubling. Okay? Don't move on the screen. Let's go box 2 for Rod. Okay? Take your time. Okay? Take your time. Now listen, you're on defense. If it's a nice shot right there, get out of the way and go 1 foot and Rod. Okay? Try to go back right. Let's go. Let's go.
The last time Siena led in this game was 26-23. They've made a heck of a comeback, down by as many as 12 here in the second half to tie the game with 1:18 to go. Discussion going on now. Mike Dean over at the scorer's table with Dick Slumkowski, the official.
I couldn't even imagine what's going on. I don't know if they were concerned whether it was a 2-point shot or a 3-point shot.
Rule, Gary. He's all set. I thought he wanted to go to eat or something. Come on, Ward, let's go. Concentrate.
So here we go. Gary Brokaw in the huddle telling his players, this is what it's all about. This is what it comes down to. Show me what you're made of.
Lewis guarded by Huerter. Green off the pick. A 3-pointer. And it's 77-74. 32 points for Sean Green. Mark Brown for 3. And Sean Green with a rebound. A huge rebound.
That is a beautiful key rebound by Sean Green. He went up, he did the same thing he did in the first half. Grabbed it with the one hand and timed it beautifully.
Schroeder will stop the clock, but he fouls a very good free throw shooter in Antoine Lewis. Mike Dean.
Mike wasn't happy with Schroeder on that play. He felt that there was too much time on the clock, a foul. Now here's his reaction. Watch his reaction on the foul. He's not happy. He thought that it was ill-timed, I guess.
So here's Antoine Lewis, who's had a tremendous ball game. He's 2 for 2 at the line. He shot 14 for 19 in this game. And the Gales lead by 3, make it 4 now.
This young man has carried this ball club. He and Sean Green have carried this ball club to where they are right now.
And Iona has shot 11 out of 14 from the foul line. Mike Brown will come into the ball game. He's a 3-point shooter.
Now they got all their key 3-point shooters in the game, Barry.
Mark Brown will take it inside, try to draw a foul, and he does. It'll stop the clock. 36 seconds left. Gerald McLeese is called for the foul. Jonathan Duck will come back in the ball game for Kevin Cooper.
There again, Mark Brown driving to the basket, drives around everybody. They don't see him. He's low to the floor, goes up and shoots, and McLeese comes down on his head.
Mark Brown with 2. Oh, a costly miss.
He's shooting 81% from the free throw line, Barry.
Looking for point number 24. He makes 1 of 2. And it's a 5-point ball game here. Brown tried for the steal, but thrown away by Duck. An unforced turnover, and quickly, Kevin Cooper will come back in the ball game defensively.
Hurry up, Duck!
28 seconds left. That could be a critical turnover.
Gary was really unhappy with Jonathan on that, but he did have the right idea. McLeese was cutting to the basket. He did have the right idea, just made a bad pass.
Down by 4, time running out. Huerter will try. Schroeder knocked out of his hands, no foul. 15 seconds left. It'll be St. Peter's, Siena basketball. Mike Dean barking away.
Mike Dean wanted that foul. I thought the official had a good look at it.
Brown for 3. Matthews. Mike Brown for 3. 6 seconds left, and we've got a 1-point ball game. Timeout, Siena.
Now let's speculate, Barry. Who do you think Siena's going to foul? Gary Brokaw has got to get his best free throw shooters in the ball game. I don't care about height or anything else. He's got to get his best free throw shooters in the ball game to take the foul.
Well, right now you got to worry about getting the ball in bounds.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to have your best ball handlers and your best free throw shooters, and you'll get the ball in bounds. Once it's in bounds, Siena's got the foul. Now watch Mike Brown come off of here. He comes off the pick set by Andrews. Bango. This is the shot. Ball's rebounded. Passed out to Mike Brown. Cooley shoots the three-pointer.
Go here and back. Here and back. Yes, don't go into the corners. Keep it in front of you, Antoine. Play slow. Okay? No foul. Let's go. No moving screens. Hey, Rise. No moving screens. No moving screens. Yeah.
Did you hear what Gary Brokaw said? He's telling his players, I don't want any moving screens. When you set the pick, you hold still. We don't need any fouls.
Sean Green fouled quickly with 4 seconds, 4.2 to be exact, left on the clock.
There you go. They got the ball to the right man, Sean Green.
So the man who has been the story, along with Antoine Lewis, dedicated this season to his mother, Patricia, who died this summer, wearing that little PG on his uniform, will go to the line. He has 32 points, 14 for 19 for the field, and 3 for 4 at the Charities' Choice.
And he'll coolly sink these free throws. You know, It's amazing that the NCAA doesn't go to the NBA rule. The NBA rule is after he'd make two, they'd be able to get the ball at midcourt, Siena.
All 4 Iona players have backed off to midcourt. It's a 2-point ball game. That one was close. Green looking for a career-high 34 points. They've got to get a 3-pointer here. Huerter.
That was a miracle, but you know what? Now watch this shot. I can't believe that Iona did not put pressure in the back court. As soon as the free throw was made, they allowed Siena to get the ball to midcourt, beyond the midcourt line, and get an uncontested shot. Bango, and in it goes. Now watch the reaction of Mike Dean as the ball bounces, goes in. Give it to us.
23 points for Tommy Huerter. 5 for 7 from 3-point range. And the senior, the co-captain, has never made a bigger shot in his career.
They say in the notes, he's a dangerous 3-point shooter. I don't know what else you can say to prove that. Here it is again. Goes up, uncontested. Bounces once, twice, and in the hole.
What do you think in those seconds that that ball lay over the rim? Gary Brokaw and Mike Dean, what do you think their hearts were beating at?
I'll tell you what, Gary Brokaw could have seen his whole career pass before his eyes on that shot.
So here we go with Sean Green jumping center. 5-minute overtime. Lee Matthews for Siena. And Green easily controls the tip.
This is what Gary Brokaw was talking about. Let's see what's inside your stomachs, fellas. Let's see what you can do under adversity.
Lewis losing the ball. Mark Brown to try to give him the lead here. Wisely backs it out. He'll settle it down. Schroeder fell down, and good call. He traveled as he slipped to the floor. Schroeder having words with Sean Green. He felt maybe he pushed him.
No, Sean Green reached down and tried to take the ball out of his hand so they could speed it up and get the ball up court. Schroeder took it umbrage to it. Now they're talking about it, and everything's cool.
We talked about Siena's 3-point shooting being a big part of their arsenal. They're 12 for 24 in this game, and that last 3-pointer tied the ball game for them.
Oh, there's a missed assignment. A missed assignment. Great pass by Lewis. Jonathan Duck buried the shot.
McLeese getting his first 2 points of the ball game with that bucket. Schroeder throw to the hoop. Oh, rolled off. Duck knocked out of his hands, and Schroeder commits the foul.
Another key rebound by Duck. Now he'll go to the... Now watch this play. He drives to the basket, misses the peeper. Duck gets the ball. Schroeder comes over his shoulder to knock it away and gets the foul call.
4th foul on Schroeder. And Duck will go to the free throw line. Duck, during the year, a 67% free throw shooter. He has 4 points on the night, and he's 0 for 1 at the line. Iona by 2. The senior will get another one.
These are key free throws, Barry. When you're not hitting from the outside or hitting the layup shots, you got to make those free throws.
Well, he got a Huerter roll there, huh?
Not the clean-looking shot, but when you look in the paper tomorrow morning, it still counts a point.
Siena again down by 3. Huerter guarded by McLeese. Mike Brown picked up by Sean Worthy. Now Worthy moving off from the corner. Off the mark was Huerter. And Iona with the 3-point lead in the basketball. 3:25 remaining here in overtime.
It's amazing. He has that nice little easy shot and shoots an air ball, and then he buries the shot to tie the game. That's the way this game goes. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't.
2, that's 2.
Again, Iona will use the clock here as we hit the 3-minute mark. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Lewis on Mark Brown. Oh, knocked out of bounds by Brown. Wow, little guy got up, didn't he?
The little guy can leap, but you know, more importantly, he timed it so well.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. Out to Green. I don't know if he realizes there are 5 seconds left. He'll take a 25-footer.
That was beyond the NBA free throw. He should get 5 points for that one, Barry.
A career-high 37 points for Sean Green. Mark Brown with his club down by 6. 2.5 minutes to go. Double teamed over there.
Notice how Siena's playing their man defense.
Big bucket of three-pointer by Mark Brown. He's got 27. And it's back
Schroeder set a beautiful pick. Set a beautiful pick for Mark Brown to come off and free for the three-point shot.
Iona by 3.
2.
Sean Worthy out near midcourt. He and Green have played virtually the entire game along with Antoine Lewis. So this is sort of giving him a bit of a rest here. Green driving.
Oh, a misdirection shot. A misdirection shot. Going left, shooting with his right hand.
A bad pass by Schroeder, picked off by Worthy. Scramble on the floor. No whistle. Brown going after it. And a backcourt violation.
Great call by the official. Right on top to play. Worthy bouncing it off. Gene Manji right on top to play. And as soon as the Iona man touched it in the backcourt, now watch his play. He'll fall to the floor. He'll keep possession of it. He's trying to get rid of it. Bango, bango, bango. Now he has the ball. Slips out of his hand into the backcourt. As soon as Jonathan Duck touched it, it was a backcourt violation. Great call by Gene Manji.
And great camera work by our crew. Producer-director Larry Roth and his fine crew giving you the pictures. 1:24 to go here in our first overtime. And Sean Green with 39 points, almost single-handedly, bringing his club to this point in this ball game, Earl.
And you know what he's doing? He's waiting his time. He's not trying to control the ball. He's letting the other people control the ball, and he's getting himself into position for the shot.
Mike Brown in and out, and as Duck came up with a rebound, he's fouled underneath.
And that's another big rebound by Jonathan Duck. And Huerter coming in had nothing to do but the fouling to stop the clock.
Tommy Huerter commits the foul, and he is fouled out of the ball game. He gets a standing ovation.
Super game, a super game by the young man.
Huerter sits down.
I just noticed something, Barry. The 4 people back for Iona got into a huddle and either said a prayer or congratulated each other and said, let's keep it going for the next 118 and we can get into the final.
Jonathan Duck with 6 points. He had missed one big one earlier, but now he has a chance to give his club A 7-point lead in overtime with 1:18 to go.
Coolly sank them both. Very coolly sank them both.
The senior from the Bronx. Mark Brown off the glass. That makes it 91 to 86. They're going to throw this one away. Another unnecessary turnover. You'll recall, Earl, in the regulation play with about 28 seconds to go, leading in the ball game by 3. They had no reason to throw the ball away. They tried to make a pass, and they threw it away.
Here they're trying to force the action, and they should just fully hold on to the ball and make wise decisions.
31 for Mark Brown. It's a 3-point ball game once again. Iona shooting themselves in the foot. Lewis out of the trap to McLeese.
These are the people who should have the ball. Lewis and Worthy should have the ball under these conditions.
Sean Green rolled off as Schroeder hit him hard.
I'll tell you, that's a great burst of speed. He does have a very quick first step when he gets the ball and he decides to go to the basket.
You know, Earl, we mentioned that the last time these two clubs played, as now another key guy, Schroeder, will foul out. Nope, let's see if they're going to call it on Schroeder. There's a question here. We mentioned that Sean Green said in his own mind he had his worst game of his career at Iona against Siena the last time they played. He shot 5 for 20, 1 for 8 from 3-point range. He's turned it around with his best game ever.
He appeared to be on a mission tonight. There's the key player just fouling out. Schroeder played a super ball game.
So Bruce Schroeder sits down. He fouled out with 7 points.
He got a left-handed handshake from Mike Green. I don't know if that's a significant thing or not.
Point number 40. He was MAAC Player of the Week last week. And now he's given us up a 5-point lead. And do we get a timeout here?
I think Sean Green asked for a timeout before the ball was inbounded. Now I know what Gary Brokaw's going to tell him, Gary. Don't foul him, let him shoot it, and let's protect the ball when we get it.
Well, Iona trying to make it to the championship game for the 6th time in the 10 years of league play.
Like 3. What are we up? 5, 2 Let's go 2 tandem. They can move it around. Take up the ribs and just get a hand down. That's the point. They can time off the clock. You're trying to recognize. You want Coopin for defense? No, we got it. Listen. 2 tandem. Okay, one guy stand the ball. Don't double the ball. Just match up. They might go 4 outs. Okay? Match and get to the shooters. Do not foul. Take your time. Don't grab it quick taking it out. Okay? Get Rise and Antoine here. MAAC and Worthy. Press offense. Make them foul you and come to the ball. Don't look to score. All right? You're taking it out. Let's go. We got 1 left. Let's go.
2. Gary Brokaw telling his team, match up, don't foul them. If they shoot the 3, don't foul them, don't make it a 4-point play. And the important thing that he told them was this: if they do score, don't pick the ball up too quickly, take your time getting it, and then use the 5 seconds to inbound the ball. Run the clock down.
Mike Brown. 93 to 90, and we'll quickly get a timeout by Mike Dean with 25 seconds to go. 26 points for Brown. What a job he and Huerter have done along with Mark Brown. 3 of those guys have combined for practically all the scoring.
Coming off of the perimeter shooting, driving to the basket, passing off, everything to make up a good team effort. Now they put in Jim Ryder, who they call instant offense. So they get another 3-point shooter in the ball game.
Well, Siena has no more timeouts remaining. Iona has 1. In case you're just tuning in, it appeared that Iona had this one locked up, but Tommy Huerter hit about a 35-foot shot to send the game into overtime, a 3-pointer.
Antoine, duck, high, rise, MAAC, and Worthy getting the ball side shooters. 3 defense straight. Don't foul. Don't let them split you coming down here. Get in front of them. If you see that right, then you're matching. On offense right now. Duck, take it out. Make sure everybody comes to the basketball. Okay? Everything comes down to this. I told you earlier, you're going to win the game. Now is when you win it. 20 seconds of your life. That's all I want. Listen, play slow when you get it, because look at all the charge they are. Okay? Mac here, Worthy here. Rise, go get it. Okay? Let's go. Let's go. Come to Antoine. When you get it, watch them flick it.
I love it. I love it. Gary Brokaw pleading with his players. Fellas, everybody come to the ball. He's got all good free throw shooters in the ball game. He says, 25 seconds of your life is all I want, fellas. Give it to me.
Jonathan Duck looking. Still looking now. They'll use their last timeout.
It's a wise decision on Jonathan Duck's part. He didn't try to force the ball inbounds. Now they'll have to set up a play where somebody can come off a screen to free himself.
Earl, 2 years ago in the MAAC Semifinals that we televised on Sports Channel, it was Iona against St. Peter's. It came down to a controversial overtime call by an official, and this one has come down to the closing seconds as well.
Same thing. Now, I just wonder if Gary Brokaw is aware of the fact that Siena scored last and that his man taking the ball out of bounds can run the baseline. I just wonder if he knows that.
You got Worthy and Antoine. Don't set a moving screen. Rise, get open. Okay, everybody come back to the ball. Okay, Mac, look, and then come back middle. Okay? You don't need a shot. On defense, what do you have? Defense, what do you have? 3 straight. You got to get it in. You got to go to the ball, Worthy. Watch them flicking, Antoine.
Well, neither club has a timeout. Gary Brokaw, along with Mike Dean, they're hoping.
Don't you love it, Barry? Don't you love it? It all comes down to this. So exciting. This is what I love about college basketball.
Green, double team. We've got to get it across, of course. Worthy. Duck, crowd wanted to walk. 13 seconds left. And now they'll stop the clock with 10.9.
Just waited too long to give the foul. Now, there was opportunities to give it. It wasn't that Iona was running away from them. They just gave up too much time on the clock.
So Sean Green, who has set a Knickerbocker Arena record for most points in one game, he's got 41, and this is the second highest ever in MAAC tournament play. Kevin Houston had 51 back in 1987, and with that one, you could pretty much put this one away. It's a 4-point lead. They have no timeouts remaining. And unless there's a foul on a potential 3-point shot, this one is history.
That's poetic justice. The man that carried the load all night, making the 2 key free throws to practically wrap this thing up.
Mark Brown off the miss. Duck saved in the corner by Worthy. And the Iona Gales have moved into the finals against the St. Peter's Peacocks with a 95-90 win as Gary Brokaw wins his 72nd game as an Iona coach.
I'll tell you what, couldn't happen to a nicer man, and they did get a lot of guts out of those kids.
And the Gales, who last year finished 13-15, lost to Fordham in the quarterfinals, will try for their 4th championship. They won the MAAC championship in 82, 84, 85 when they had some great players, Gary Springer, along with Steve Burton and the likes. And this will be Gary Brokaw's first chance to try to win that championship.
And I would wish him all the luck in the world. However, he's going up against a very, very tough St. Peter's ball club.
Well, those 2 teams played, of course, twice this year. They split those games, and we saw them play, of course, once this year on our Sports Channel telecast. It was a great effort by Iona beating St. Peter's, but St. Peter's is playing great ball lately.
They are playing great ball, and it'll be a great defensive matchup. It'll be another finesse team against a physical ball club, just like we had tonight.
So in overtime, it's Iona, a 5-point winner over Siena. We'll be back with post-game highlights in just a moment. The crowd filing out of the Knickerbocker Arena disappointed as the Iona Gales beat Siena Saints 95-90, but standing by with a guy who's not very disappointed. He's very happy. Here's Carl Rudder with Gary Brokaw.
Barry, thanks very much. He almost was disappointed. What are you thinking about when Huerter's three-pointer drops from about 30 feet? How many times did it hit the rim as you watch the clock go down?
He made a great shot. I mean, obviously some people could say it's luck, but hey, it went in, and it's never over until it's over. You've been in the game long as I have. I understand that. I'm just proud of the way our guys, with these fans and everybody else, stuck with it.
Gary, go ahead, describe it now. This is what you're watching as Huerter's going to tie it up.
Yeah, and it wasn't, we flew at him. We didn't want to foul him, and Jonathan Duck is still there on defense. I tell you, it's the breaks of the game. They took it then, but we got the breaks at the end when we needed it.
Sean Green.
Well, I've been saying all along, I think Sean Green can play at the next level, but more importantly now, he's led us all year. He's making us a better team, and he's put us in the championship.
Was it hard for you, Gary, during courses of timeouts where you had to be able to hold your stability? Do you think the team is at any one time looking to self-destruct out there? Because they did throw the ball away a few times.
No, I don't think it was self-destruction. I just think it was pressure. It's like being over that 6-foot putt when you're on the 18th green and sometimes you miss it. The pros do it so kids can do it.
I was kidding you. You didn't have that tennis ball in your hand for a while, but you picked it up towards the end. And in overtime, with this big crowd going against you, able to overcome.
It was a great win for Iona College, and particularly our seniors, to win against these odds. I tell you, I'm really proud of them, and we can enjoy it for a couple of hours, then we got to put our hats back on and go to work against a very tough St. Peter's team.
What about that St. Peter's team now? You know they like to play that tough defense. You know they like to keep the game in the high 50s, low 60s.
Well, again, to beat LaSalle 3 times, I mean, that's tough for anybody in the country to do. St. Peter's is 9th or 10th in the country in defense. Ted Fiore's a good friend of mine, and he's done a great job. It's going to be a war. It's probably going to come down to the last couple minutes and the last 2 or 3 points.
Gary, super effort tonight by your club. Congratulations on making it into the finals.
Thanks very much.
All right, Gary Brokaw, winning coach of Iona. His team victorious tonight over the homestanding Siena Saints. Now let's go over to Barry and Earl for a final word.
Thank you very much, Carl Reuter. What a game, man. What an effort by Sean Green. He winds up with 43 points. And, Earl, we saw Dandy. Great way to finish our Sports Channel telecast.
A wonderful way to finish. It was a pleasure working with you this year, Barry. You taught me an awful lot about the business, and what a grain. But let me tell you, Sean Green can play at the next level.
All right. And now it is time for our Minolta shot of the game. The Minolta Freedom Camera, of course, the official camera of the Metro Atlantic, lets you take your best shot. And here's the best shot of the ball game.
What other shot can you pick, Barry? This is the one. Watch Huerter dribble the ball over the midcourt line, throw up a 45-footer. It bounces once, twice, and through the hole, and almost buried poor Gary Brokaw.
A valiant effort by the losers as they come back on that shot to tie it. But give credit to Iona with the crowd in the ball game, going into overtime, all the momentum in favor of Siena. The Gales pulled it off.
Just like Gary said in the huddle, fellas, I only want 25 seconds of your life. That's all I want. He got the right people in the ball game, the good foul shooters, and I thought perhaps Siena waited a little bit too long to foul at the end, but that's a coach's decision.
So the battle for the MAAC championship will be decided by 2 New York City area teams up here in Albany. Once again, our final score, Iona 95, Siena 90. Remember, tomorrow night at 8:30, the New Jersey Nets are in Dallas, Texas, to tip off against the Mavericks. And Tuesday night at 7:30, the New York Islanders battle their division rivals, the Jersey Devils, at the Nassau Coliseum. Stay tuned for the latest scores and highlights on Sports Nightly. This is Barry Landers for Earl Strom and Carl Reuter saying so long. Thanks for watching Metro Atlantic Basketball on Sports Channel.